Now let's have a look at how working with layer looks like from the collaborator's point of view. The cool thing is that as a collaborator, you don't actually need to have access to layers, so there's no login required. You can keep on working in the tools that you already use, like email, Excel, or you can simply use the layer web interface to very conveniently input the requested data there. Now, how does this work? It's very easy. A collaborator would receive an email like this, which includes all the relevant information that's required for the workflow. Now, in this case, it says, hey, you received a request. Now, that tells us that we have a to-do now. This email is part of a data collection workflow. We also know who this is from, so we know that Konstantin is asking us to provide input, and we know also what workflow this is for. In the bottom part of the email, we have the instructions on how to go about this request. Here we have two options. Either we can go on and open Layer, and then what will open is the shared spreadsheet in the Layer web browser. Again, we don't need a password or login to do that. Or alternatively, we could download the spreadsheet as Excel, do our changes there, and simply reply back to this email in order to submit input. Let's maybe do both. So if I click Open Layer, as I said, you'd be directed to the Layer web interface, where you would see the shared spreadsheet in the window here, and on the right-hand side, there's the communication, the message thread with the administrator. Let's maybe now change a couple of values. Could do, of course, more. It could also change formulas, and then we could pass along a message here. And if I hit the send button in the top right, bottom right corner, then our duty is done. We could provide an input. The interface that pops up after that is the collaborators interface with the master user, where you have, again, an overview of the communication. Plus, you can always go back to the spreadsheet with the open button or download as Excel. Now, if we were to download the file and provide our input not via the web interface, but via Excel, we would simply do the changes in Excel after downloading and then replying back to this email thread. How would this look like? Like this. So this is the downloaded Excel file. Let me add a change here. Of course, I could do much more complicated things, but I don't think that's necessary now. Let me quickly download and save that. And if I reply back to this email, of course, I can add messages here that will be then saved by the system. I only have to attach the file in order to submit my input back. And that's all we need to do. If you're a Google Sheet user, let me show you how you can set up a workflow using Google Sheets. So that means you would be sharing from an Excel file via Google Sheets. And I'll also show you how this would look like from the collaborator's point of view. Now, in order to do that, I'll replicate an already existing workflow by clicking on the three dots here, share again, so I don't have to type all the parameters. And the only thing I'm going to change here in the access settings, I'm only going to select Google Sheets. This is all you need to do. Now, let me trigger this, and in the meantime, we're going to move over to the inbox, and we're now assuming that we are the collaborator. And now I'm going to show you how this looks like from the collaborator's point of view. So here's the email from the flow. Let me open that. If I click Open Layer, which is what we would ask the collaborator to do, what the collaborator would see is the collaborator's interface. And here, the collaborator is able to either simply write messages, or open the Google Sheet, or also push back data from the Google Sheet to the administrator. How does this work? You'd have to open the Google Sheet. This is how you'd access it. Once that is finished loading, we're going to do some changes. So as you can see, this is what the collaborator would then also see. And let's do some simple changes here. Maybe this is the salary, so let's change a few of those. We're done with our with our update. And now the collaborator would need to go back to this interface, a key and a message here, and then after clicking on attach from Google Sheet, he or she would be able to send back the information and her to-do would be over. This is how collaboration works in case of Google Sheets.